How well can we see through different types of objects? So there are 3 types of objects that you will be seeing here. The first one, transparent. The second one, translucent. The third one, opaque. In fact, you have learned this in P3 under the topic of materials. In the topic of materials, you actually learn about transparent, translucent, and opaque materials. Okay, so the first one, they are made of materials such as wood, metal, some types of plastic, cardboard, and clay. Such materials do not allow light to pass through them. Now, when light could not pass through the object, we say that they are opaque materials. So, let's go to the next one. They are made of materials such as paper, some type of plastic, and cloth. We say that such materials only allow some light to pass through them. Now, if only some light could pass through them, we say they are translucent materials. And finally, you know what we're going to talk about? The transparent materials. So, they are made of materials such as glass and some types of plastics. These materials allow most light to pass through them. And of course, we call them transparent materials. So let's do a quick recap. Opaque materials means does not allow light to pass through. Sometimes you can even say does not allow any light to pass through. For translucent material, we can say allow some light to pass through. For transparent material, allow most light to pass through. Now, in some books, they will say allow all light to pass through. Please check with your school teachers whether the word all light to pass through is fine. For me, I'll usually say allow most light to pass through. Okay? Now, we're coming to the next part here. We're going to talk about light sensor and data logger. Now, when you get back to school or when you learn the topic on light, you'll get to use the apparatus or the equipment, data logger and light sensor in school. A light sensor can measure the amount of light passing through an object. So you see, if you have a transparent material, you can use a light sensor and a data logger, and they can tell you how much light it can pass through. Likewise for translucent material, for opaque materials. The measurement taken can be recorded in a data logger connected to a light sensor. So remember, light sensor is the one that will sense the light. If there's a lot of light, then the data logger will record a bigger number. If the light sensor receives very little light, then the data logger will show a small number. If the light sensor doesn't even receive any light at all, then the data logger will just appear a 0. That means that it is opaque material. So the measurements can be transferred from the data logger to the computer as shown on the graph. Now, nowadays the equipment has gotten better. It's now just a handheld equipment. You could even see this on the LED screen, okay?